in the previous year, at least the upper bracket, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to take on a decklist that is basically 1 year older compared to Spellbooks. You know, Spellbooks featuring Spellbook of Judgment is a deck from 2013. But Artifact Chronomaly, this is the OCG decklist, because again, as I mentioned before, as you know, by the time we actually got Nebra disc here in the TCG, I think it was irrelevant. But in the OCG it was super nostalgic, as in, wow, they have Nebra disc and such a powerful normal summon. And Artifacts back then was definitely one of the stronger packages you could main deck almost in basically any deck. So which deck has the advantage? Well, if we ask the people, as you see here, right side, is that, what is it, 82% of the people see that Spellbooks should win this particular matchup. And I could definitely agree to some extent. I mean, look at Spellbooks, look at how powerful Spellbooks is, and both decks having access to the opening rule of opening with 6 cards, having, you know, the draw phase. That's definitely the advantage in favor of Spellbooks, I feel, because of, you know, Judgment being that strong, and very similar to Baby Dragon Rulers, them having the 6th card, potential, you know, an extra dragon to discard off of your Baby Dragons. Like, the same analogy, you know, counts for Spellbooks, being able to have the 6th card, maybe, you know, a combination of, at least that increases the potential of having a combo of Blue Boy and Secrets or something like that. That's insta full combo, and with full combo I mean end on Yugioh search, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 spells in the end phase. Back then this was mind-blowing, and it still is actually, but you know, power crept essentially. So we can't do anything. I think Maxi was irrelevant. I think, was Maxi the 6th card? Or was this maybe an extra draw? I'm not so sure. Might have been the 6th card, probably. Yeah, probably. Otherwise, you would have used it, would make sense. And I think my 3 sets, what was it? Is it a Sanctum, which is useless? Call of the Haunted is useless, and Moral Tech. Unless they destroy it, but does Spellbook actually play maybe post-Sighting, they Sighting in Mystical Space Typhoon? Yeah, maybe. So now we go first, and I mean, I was about to say, they do play main deck 1 Droll, but they do side deck 3, if I'm not mistaken. And Droll, sure, against this deck is good. Like this deck somewhat suffers consistency, as you know, if you, with Chronomaly artifacts, if you're not drawing Nebra disc in your opening turn, you are set back by a lot. Like, you have to, in case of Crystal Skull here in hand, you have to normal summon, like Jet, for example, discard Skull to search Nebra disc. Or Bones maybe, but you know, that sets you back so much. And that's the biggest weakness of this deck. And on top of that, if they're able to prevent the search, that sets you even more, essentially. So, almost the same feeling, right? I think my 3 sets were almost the same. No, I should recheck, but what was it? I don't know, Sanctum, Call of the Haunted, maybe Ignition? Or Ignition has already been used, I think, previously. Obviously, yeah, they know we have Crystal Skull in hand, and obviously, I mean, if we were able to discard Skull, we would have been able to search Bones. The Bones would not matter because of Yugioh, so nah, just losing game. Like, as soon as Yugioh hits the field, I feel there is hardly anything we can do. This ends much better. Even though we are getting heavied, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we do lose Breakthrough Skill, and Breakthrough Skill is an out. It's essentially a double out for Yugioh. Sure, they could protect their Yugioh on field with, what's the spellbook called that protects from spells and traps? Is it Wisdom? I think it's Wisdom. Sure, Wisdom is an out, but you know, they need those searches. Fate, Wisdom, Field Spell, whatever. So we go for the rank 4, Hayuk I think the name is. It doesn't really do that much, it's not a negation, it just lowers the attack to 0, I think. Which, it's decent, but you know, like nowadays you need negation and more than that. I mean, fair enough, they do have like a rank 3 Gorgonic Guardian, which we do summon in a few moments, but the thing here is the rivalry. Okay, they do have a couple of floodgates, but I mean, we have already, yeah, our target is already in the graveyard, so Fissure doesn't really do that much, and as you know, against Exceed materials, Fissure does nothing, so this is fine. Plus, Rivalry does screw over this deck because of the types. Now it was all a rock type, so I guess that's fine, because what is it? The Chronomalies are machine, some of them. You rock as well, and I think the artifacts are fairy, if I'm not mistaken, I think so. Problem now is going second, and like this hand, in all honesty, for back then was pretty good. Like normal summon disc, you spot to search something, Set Sanctum having Honest to gain some momentum when going second in, 2014, hands, artifacts, trap tricks format, a much slower format. And Sadly, I don't think we have access to Heavy Storm, right? So we have to snipe, use Typhoon and snipe any disruption we can hit to potentially attack over Yugioh, but we immediately get blown away by the Judgments. So we lose our Surge, our Nebula Disc, and we lose momentum, so that's kind of big. Yeah, the Judgment was super big. And now they are just able to establish their board, right? Maybe double Star Hall, plus, I don't know, more back row. I think there's a Wing Blast set as well, so there's no way we can win this one. So, like, looking at the votes a couple of moments ago, like, almost feels it was spot on, especially, after this match, seeing how it's being played out. I feel that Judgment Spellbooks definitely had a huge advantage over the more recent tech. It's only 1 year though, but you see the difference between both formats. So that means that for the smaller semi-finals, in the upper bracket we have Burning Abyss versus Spellbooks, so that's pretty nifty. Anyway, bottom part is the next one, and that's a biggie. We have Rizal Fiendsmith versus Turlemans. So Ishizu Tyr taking on one of the best decks from not too long ago. So feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, this is it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. LITHIUM signing out. Peace.
Give me just a minute, Give me just a minute, Give me just a minute, Just a minute,
So what are your big three emojis?
I think the sparkles, the baby eyes, and the castle.
What does the castle mean?
We cannot spell the word medieval, so we use the castle instead.
Honestly, who can?
Not us.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up guys, welcome back next match, Cross Banlist Cup. So, bottom part again, the more broken decks, and right side. So that means we are at the top 8. Both these decks won their top 16 playoffs, or top 16 match. So they will take on each other, and both are definitely title candidates. Looking at the more recent deck being the, Snake Eyes variant, Snake Eyes, Fire King, Azamina. And, this deck definitely has a chance to win it all, especially in this matchup as well. Looking at hand traps, man, like the Fuwalos, the Ash obviously, the Dominus Impulse, the Imperms, and Drolls as well, all of them in the main deck. And then looking at the extra, the side deck essentially, there's also much more, or many more threats to potentially side deck in against, different variants. But sprites won't go down that easily, right? So Sprite Pure Sprite, or Sprite Frogs, however you want to pronounce it, post the release of Sprint, the link to. So which deck has the advantage? Well, we saw that, what was it, about 78% of the people voted that, Sprite, Snake Eyes had the advantage. So it speaks for itself. Again, the more recent deck definitely has the advantage, but on the other hand, Sprite is a strong deck, so we'll see what happens. Sprite goes first though, so that's definitely super optimal for the deck. The problem is that we're getting nuked by a somewhat very specific hand, as in, what was it, there is an Imperm is fine, Ash is fine, but I don't think Ash was activated. There was another, Impulse, it was Impulse, yeah, so Impulse, Imperm, and the Arvata, Garonix, the Garonix. And because they had the Garonix in hand, they were able to essentially against Sprite that you don't want to, let the normal summon go through, as in keep the level 2 on field in order for them to extend their board with their level 2s in hand. And that what happens if you open Garonix, you can pop the level 2 and hope for the best. The thing is that if my hand was more stacked, as in if I would have had a Sprite starter, the spell, the quick play spell, they had Ash. So I don't think I could have won this one with any combination of a hand. I think so. Well, maybe, no, not even talents. Anyway, so this is much better. So you have red for monster negation, not protected by Sprite Elf. You do have Masquerina, Gigantic Sprite as a big beat stick. It got Impulse, right? So again, it was relatively safe for Veiler and Imperm, but Impulse doesn't matter, right? In case of Sprite Elf. So let's see, we do have a couple of ways to interrupt. I think this was... the thing here is that, sure, I think the only Imperm target was either Elf, obviously, or the Reds. But that seems mediocre, if you ask me. Like, you can use, okay, you can go for the Imperm, but then there's still the Masquerina play, potentially using the Red as a material for Masquerina into Unicorn to bounce something, and at the same time use Elf to reborn Red. So I'm not so sure about the Imperm, right? Like, activating Imperm, that is. So yeah, this should be the game. Weren't we able to attack for the game? Probably not. But I mean, Toad, double Toad, and more interruptions, that was definitely enough. So, okay, game number 3. And we have Shifter. Like, Shifter is so ridiculous against the deck. Especially against the Fire King hybrid, Azamina hybrid, like, Shifter should be game. The thing is that they side decked in the Skyburn, and that's important. Because now they can kind of recover, right? We do sacrifice our battle phase, and that's kind of big. Plus we run into, like, look, they do have the hand traps though. Plus they obviously keep the field spell, and I'm not so sure. Wasn't there... Yeah, we have starter, okay, for Carrot. Yeah, because of the continuous, because of the field spell. And here, I was so sure that they are bluffing. And I didn't call the bluff. I was like, no, we cannot risk it, but maybe I should have risked it. Like, what was the worst thing that could have happened? And, like, imagine Caronix being dropped to the field, you know, surged off of the field spell. Then there is still the Imperm, right, to prevent the extender. So, I was close. I should have called the bluff. I really should have gone for it. Like, I was like, yeah, just go for it, right? And keep Elf for later, keep Carrot for later, and the Imperm for the potential Garanix if it's dropped. Like, if they destroy the fire, that is, but... that's a bummer. So I think Talents was that. Yeah, the Talents is set, so, like, any monster would have been fine, right? Go for Sprint, Angler, and go from there. But no, not the case. And now we're getting OTK'd. Obviously, you don't need to fear any of my back rows, right? Like, an Imperm would have already been activated. So Princess, Pretty Princess hits the field. Yeah, the Selmer Greatling for, like, ridiculous. It is what it is. Okay, so the next one, game number 4, and obviously against the deck that you're going first, they have the opportunity to side deck in 6 Maxis. Obviously, they will open at least with 1, right? So Purlia is there, and the problem here is that are we going to give them more draws? Like normal summon red, they will get a draw, special summon blue, special summon red, or special summon, yeah, more Carrot. That gives them a lot of draws. Plus, they had the Mulch Army as well. So, I think I lost this one. I quit, by the way. I was kind of mad. Because my hand, I had like 0 hand traps. It looked like, you know, you saw the deck list. Like, half of my deck was hand traps. Figure of speech, but you know what I mean. So I was a little bit frustrated, but it is what it is. So the next matchup, we, you know, Sprite is still in, but we'll move on to the left side. Back to the upper part, we have Spellbooks. Spellbooks versus Chronomaly, and Chronomaly won against Rulers, if I'm not mistaken. So intriguing matchup. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. LITHIUM signing out. Peace.
Checkers and Rally's $3 doubles will have you going all in.
Double down. Double down.
Choose a new sourdough double melt with 2 beef patties, cheese on cheese, and grilled onions on toasted sourdough. Or a cheese double, or a spicy chicken double. Your choice, only $3 each.
Double down.
Go all in for less, only at Checkers and Rally's.
Double.
I'm about to give my mom the surprise of her life. Let's see if she forgives me.
Mother, where are you?
I'm in the closet.
Oh my god!
Yo, what's up guys, welcome back next with Cross Banlist Cup. Upper part again, right side, so top 8 finally. Let's take a look. So both these decks already very similar age, if not the same, but the deck lists are somewhat different. Well, different time periods. Burning Abyss having access to Beatrice, more so PK Fire, Beatrice Turbo, versus Prime Necros, that is. Basically having access to Genlock, right? So which deck has the advantage? Well, we see that 69% of the people voted for Necros. So Necros has the advantage according to the people over Burning Abyss. I could see why, but if you take a look at both deck lists, I feel that Burning Abyss has like the slight advantage, looking at Anti-Spell, looking at Mask of Restrict, which basically restricts tributes as a whole, and that includes Ritual Summons. So, but on the other hand, look at Necros, like look at the sideboard, Twister, like the OG Twister, and what's the trap called? Typhoon? The trap, you know, basically it was main deck against, or side deck against pendulums. You could hit your opponent's scales when you go second. Anyway. So Burning Abyss goes first, game number 1, and this is definitely a solid start. The thing is that against Necros, you know how Ritual Necros works, like Ritual Trishula. You, like here, there was like a short moment in my head, and I was like, maybe I should not search, just in case. But I was like, nah, I have 2 Fog Blades, and this is game number 1, pre-side deck. There is only triple Typhoon for what was it? A 44 card deck. What are the chances? And of course double Typhoon, so I now am getting punished for this, as in, and that was I was saying, is as you know, like the Ritual Trishula needs to banish at least 1 card in hand, field and grave. So if I would not have searched with Skarn before, I would have not, you know, at least I would have no cards in hands, essentially. But I mean, it's fine though. This is Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss with 3 Beatrice, so I mean, resources-wise, this deck is fantastic. So let's see. Okay, so we go for, I think it's Liebig. Liebig, the one that's, when it's sent to the graveyard, special summons a Burning Abyss from hand, but its effect is negated. Ah, I forgot this one. I forgot Dweller. Necros having access to Dweller. That's kinda important, but the thing is that, like BA with stuff like Fog Blade, that also helps out a lot. Unicorn doesn't do that much against this deck. Sure, it prevents Beatrice, but if you destroy Beatrice, I can still special summon my 3k beatstick, right? Okay, so go a bit more aggro. Both Beatrice are, both their effects are negated essentially because of Unicorn, but their Dweller is also negated. So now, the thing is, well, what are they? Yeah, they're sacrificing their Unicorn to kind of, and I think the Beatrice is indeed the biggest problem here for Necros. Sure, you're sacrificing a Unicorn. I mean, Unicorn is fine, or it doesn't again do that much. Sure, by sacrificing Unicorn, you're forced to use your one of Dweller because the other material was already gone, and you get rid of 1 Beatrice. But there is 1 left on field, so you need to deal with that one. And what are the outs? Like Bryonyx an out to bounce it back, Trishula is an easy out. But again, we have stuff like Fogblade, which this deck kind of relatively easy searches. So Kaledo, this is fine. Okay, so level 11, I think, right? Clauseless and Valkyrus, that should be 11. Yeah, we are negating Clauseless. What does it? Negates the effect monster or the extra deck monster and puts it at 0 attack, if I'm not mistaken. Bryonyx is fine. Unicorn for Valk, probably to just survive, but they are low on life points. So let's see, can we do damage? I'm not so sure. They indeed go for Valk. They don't want to get in Barbar range. Ooh, you know, like 9 years ago, Barbar range, those words. So we go for... Ah, they put themselves into... I mean, okay, fair enough. Beatrice, yeah, they wanted to go for Trish, but we already had Barbar in hand, so we are going to Barbar them for a game. Nope, not this time. So this one, it was a long one, but fine though. Okay, going second. That's an iffy start, I guess. I mean, okay, if you don't open with Manju, Senju, I guess you could go for like the Falk play, Pop 2, Draw 2, potentially digging into those Spell and Trap Destruction cards like Twister, Typhoon, and stuff like that. But we have to keep Failure, I think. I think this was the correct play. Keep Failure for the potential, like Lavalva Chain again, prevents the Jin lock essentially. Because this deck doesn't really have that many outs for Jin lock. Okay, so this hand is stacked. That's really a really nice hand. Again, we're okay. Huh. Ah, yeah, the Unicorn was a problem. So attack first, and I guess Lavalva Chain is not that bad. Like leaving a monster on their board in case of Necros is not that bad, because again it prevents their searches, prevents them banishing their spells from the graveyard. So indeed they go for a Suicide Crash. We do go for Mask of Restrict. So Mask of Restrict is a fantastic floodgate against rituals. The problem is that there is an out for Mask of Restrict, because Kaledo sends, it attributes and sends from the extra deck, so that's an out for Mask of Restrict. You know, if you can go for Trishula. Anyway, so here, Chinlock is still in effect, if I'm not mistaken. Even though the monster is Fogbladed. So we are forced to go for Farfa, banish the Clauseless, and then, I think so, yeah, when the Clauseless returns, I think it works the same as when it's like Book of Moon. It forgets the Jin effect, right? I think so. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But I don't think so. Anyway. Okay, so going second. And I guess a very similar opening star, but this time we don't have the Failure. We don't have Maxi as well, so we are staring down Jin. And this is a problem now. We do have outs, as in deck out. That's basically the case. So we reveal Anti-Spell. They don't have any Spell and Trap Destruction, at least they don't reveal it. So they feel confident to play, yeah, I guess maybe keeping the Spell and Trap stuff for Mask of Restrict. That might make sense. Let's see. What was this cycle going to summon? Was it going to be Trish? I don't know. Valk probably. Just basically an extra beat stick, but we revealed the second one. They did have Typhoon, but or Twister. But you know, Anti-Spell said no. Basically another big beat stick hitting the field, attacking over, yeah, Skarm this time, so we do get a Surge, but I mean the problem here is we can't special summon, so we search, I guess, Torguide, but again, like, the outs here are very slim. So I'm working towards a Fogblade, and then, you know, we'll see how far we can go. Can we push for deck out? Probably not, like, in all honesty. There is just far too many cards they can side deck. Looking at Spell and Trap Destruction. So let's see, we Fogblades, yeah, the big beat stick. And I was like, okay, another Typhoon. So here, and this is, I was about to say like the small turning point, not the case, but I was like, okay, let's, even though it's not enjoyable to view, let's make it a style fest. So we go for Seer, basically a bigger beat stick compared to Manju, Senju, or Clauseless. And then we can Fogblade our own monster, as you know, like Fogblade, unlike Phoenix Chain. The monster that's equipped with Fogblade cannot be attacked. So, you know, popular in Burning Abyss and stuff like that, you can Fogblade your own monster and then your opponent cannot target that monster for an attack. So here, their problem now is that Anti-Spell, all of the Floodgate, like Anti-Spell is there. And Fogblade, yeah, prevents attacking, so their outs for this are very slim because they already used some resources. Castel is an out. Let's see, I guess, yeah, both ritual spells set, so potentially, you know, looking at Trishula is an out. I think the only out, ritual out that is, right? Yeah, I think so. So Trish is there, we do have Failure, no Book of Moon, stuff like that. And there's only one Trish, so they cannot protect. They're super low though, like, what is it, 10 cards left in the deck, something like that? Valk for more, yeah, basically they want to draw more Spell and Trap Destruction. Like something to pop one of the Fogblades and then Castel, you know. And here, I think I maybe should have played it safe, but again, as I mentioned before, I don't think it's a matter of time. I'm not winning this one by deck out. And again, I'm still under Jinlock, I can't special summon. So it's just a matter of time that, you know, we're losing this one. Anyway, Game number 4, let's see. Okay, down to mill 3, and this is a fantastic mill. Graph, the one of Graph, by the way. And the one of Liebig. It is what it is. So Beatrice set 2, both floodgates. So they do opt to go for that, obviously because they cannot play otherwise. So let's see. We do have Beatrice. They cannot play. So they're setting both ritual spells. And we go for, what is it? Is it Alich? No, it's Calcap. The one that bounces basically in the end phase. Yeah, well, at least when it's sent right. And I think we side-decked out the Shadow Dragon, I think so. But let's see, we were able to search, you know, Scar and Tour Guides, because again we were able to pop stuff, right? Yeah, Fogblade, Break Sword, yeah, to pop the back row. Again, not give them any way to ritual summon, basically. And this is not game? No, because the monster is not put at 0 attack. They go for Velk, which kind of makes sense, because now if they have another normal summon, they could potentially go for like Excite Knight, so that could be a problem. But I mean, we still have Beatrice or Farfa, so the ways are still there to prevent that, that is. And they cannot ritual summon again because of anti-spell. So this is not a good play. Like in hindsight, now that I see it, this play doesn't make sense. I should not have used Beatrice, at least not sent Seer, I think, yeah. Should have gone for the rank 3 X8 and, what is it, Grandpulse, I think, yeah, the one that pops back rows. Much better. But it won't matter that much, because now we are able to attack for a game, I think. Yeah. F-Zero, again, doesn't do that much, but essentially, we were able to attack for a game, so it didn't really do that much. Okay, so Burning Abyss going to the top 4. Necros is still there. It will take on Dragon Rulers, but that's later. Next on, bottom part, we have Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes, Fire Kings, Azamina versus Sprite.